So question is for you. So just say, what if your project is taking longer and your expense of the building gone way up, and you do not have budget to finish the building? What happens that?
Right. I guess I'd have my own mic on my head. As far as cost and things like that, we have tremendous safeguards because we're just as worried as you are. We don't want to get into a project, watch costs run away from us, and all of a sudden we can't finish the building. In the United States today, in this world, especially tier 1 cities, you don't see half-built buildings. The reason is that any major project from any senior lender or developer, they're going to require a completion guarantee. Multi-billion-dollar companies with, call it 20% of that building cost liquid in cash, ready to save that project if possible. The net worth of the entity that's borrowing that money to build that building must be at least 50% of the construction cost. So first of all, you have extremely well-heeled, very heavily capitalized groups that are building these buildings, but to get that capital and to be that big and to be that successful, they also know what they're doing. Our construction costs before we get started are actually locked in. They're guaranteed by the contractor, and they're further guaranteed by insurance and everything else. When you get cost overruns, it's typically design related or code changes where all of a sudden they require a new fire extinguisher or sprinkler or something because there's only one supplier that makes them and you got to do a design change. Those are small monies. Major items that would go like, say, a building falling over or things like that in today's day and age isn't even feasible. So when you talk about catastrophic failure of construction, you're really talking about very unique projects. Very difficult and unpredictable, not a house, an apartment building, office. Like you need to be worried about underground tunnels or underwater tunnels, bridges, solar farms, Ferris wheels, things that are really unpredictable because you don't know what it's going to cost from a geotechnical perspective. The most risk we ever face in any project is below ground. Because as soon as you start digging, you're not always 100% sure what you're going to run into. But if you're on water, off the coast, and mud's moving around, water, river, aquifers, all that kind of stuff, that's where the risk is. When you see something like the Graduate that's already on its top floor, you're just assembling things and putting it together. The risk goes down significantly. And then now with BIM modeling, everything is in 3D. I can tell you where every single wire, pipe, piece of drywall, where they all go. You can go into our contractor's office, those goggles outside, I can walk you through the building and explode the wall out and show you every single component. It's not because it's fun for the investors, it's because I take a subcontractor into that office, I sit him, I make him put on the goggles and I say, you work here. You finish your job, don't touch anything else, just do your job here. They can't screw up. It's so obvious what we ask them to do, and it's so good because if anything changes, the model moves with it. You see where everybody else is supposed to be. It is so good at planning that all of our computer modeling has clash detection. If something moves and all of a sudden something's not to code, the software will pump out those 500 line items that need to be addressed by the design team. All of this stuff is so predictable today because the science is so good and the software is only just beginning to get better and better. So construction items, that's why you don't see unfinished buildings. Costs can run, and it's really more about design and sourcing. If you run into tariff situations and things change in the interim, that kind of stuff, but you're not seeing catastrophic type construction costs.